Yes, y'all. Welcome into episode 75 of the Dunmarks podcast, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch. Back at it again, the best four-man booth in the business. And today we're switching it up on you folks. We got something brand new for you, so let's jump right into bell to bell. All right, so this week, bell to bell, we're going to kick things off here with a little promo package for you guys tonight. Streaming live on Title Match Network at the Maverick by Casa, about 20 minutes away from where we are all sitting right now. WrestlePit, soon to be one of the hottest indie companies in the United States, is back for their second pro wrestling event, Turning Up the Heat. And on this show, we got names like ROH Pure Title Champion Josh Woods, Honor No More member Matt Taven, Lady Frost, Marty the Moth. But the man that'll be joining us here shortly is an international pro wrestler, a man who is building a legacy in this business, a man who tonight will battle Sean Legacy. See what I did there? In a match that can and will steal the show. A superior athlete, a superior man, someone who's going to make this show a whole lot superior. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Sunseri.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How can I come on here and be rude to you guys?
Listen, I did my homework here, and got caught up with a lot of stuff you've done. We'll get into that as we move along here, but I'm like, man, I got to bring this guy on with a proper introduction so he doesn't just come on and shit all over us.
I'm usually only mean as soon as my music hits and I go out because I got to have tunnel vision on what the task at hand. So we could have a good time today. But you guys said you're all 20 minutes out from the hotel. From the venue. Are you guys coming tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna. I'm definitely gonna stop down tonight. For sure. I don't know what these guys have plans for, but I will be down there. And now is bell time 7 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Central?
I would Eastern.
I think it's Eastern, right? Because I looked at the little graphic poster and I'm like, wait, it says 7 p.m. Central. So does that mean they're not going live till 8? Like it threw me off a little bit, but whatever the case,
it starts at 7.
Okay, starts at 7. Nice bell time. So yeah, second show ever for WrestlePit. First one,
Morning, Mars.
What's going on? First one was back in December. You guys had your first event there.
Yeah, it was like November or December, somewhere around that time frame. There is a pre-show match today too, so if you do get there early, there will be a pre-show match. But go ahead, I just want to get that in.
No, absolutely, great. No, yeah. So,
do you know who the pre-show match is going to be?
Unless it changes, it's going to be a scramble. So Mambo Italiano won that Arkham Realty Championship, and I think the scramble is for that. So I could be wrong though, but there's a couple people, but things have switched a little bit, and I'll even get into that with me and Legacy. But
okay.
So if it's for that Reality Championship, Mambo Italiano will for sure be there.
Cool,
nice,
Awesome.
So just before we get into the card itself and talk about your match and some of the other matchups tonight, which honestly, looking at it, and I read off some of the names before we brought you on here, there's a nice blend of well-known people as well as local people and people, that are trying to come up in the business here. So just kind of talk about how you got involved with WrestlePit and kind of, what your hopes are for WrestlePit here moving forward.
WrestlePit so far has been awesome. I mean, it's Lady Frost and Vic Benjamin put it together. So, with how much they travel and they've got their names out there, they're able to build some relationships and bring some other bigger names into the area, which just gives people like me, who I'm from Pittsburgh in my rookie year, an opportunity. Like last event, I got to wrestle Chandler Hopkins. But it's awesome. All the people they're bringing in, Josh Woods, Danhausen was supposed to be at the last one, but he got hurt. Marty the Moth tonight. I mean, Lady Frost is on Impact. Cheeseburger, LSG. I mean, there's so many guys that come in for this. And my hope for WrestlePit is just to keep showing out and to keep growing. I mean, the venue we're in tonight is going to be awesome. I used to go to the Ace Hotel all the time for drinks, so it's cool for me being from Pittsburgh that it changed to the Maverick, and we're gonna have our show there. So I'd like to see WrestlePit just keep growing.
I didn't know that it was formerly the Ace, so that's cool.
Yeah. It was the old Ace Hotel. It's called the Maverick now, so it's a cool little spot. So if you've been there before, it'd be cool to be there.
Yeah. We're definitely familiar with the venue as well as the area. We're all local 412 alumni here, so to speak. All grew up in the area and that, so that's awesome. Young.
Who's your favorite Pittsburgh wrestlers right now?
Man, from Pittsburgh. Well, let's see. we get technicalities with from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Because
from or been through.
From.
I mean, all time, I'll probably go with. I'll go Kurt Angle.
Yeah, let's just say Kurt.
Yeah. Right now, I really like watching Spencer Slade in IWC. Yeah. I think he's got some talent.
No, Spencer's awesome.
Yeah. And of course, like you said, you brought up Lady Frost, and we've followed her just because she was local, and what she's done on the women's scene over the past year or two has been really good. And she's making moves and doing her thing. So definitely keep an eye on her and what she's done so far.
Yeah, she's a beast.
I didn't know that she was one of the ones in charge of WrestlePit, so that's awesome. Just everything she's done, NWA, Impact, everywhere else she's been.
Lady Frost and Benjamin are all right by me for the most part. That she trained at the Stronghold Academy. That's where she started. That's where myself, Lee Moriarty, Nikita Knight, all from there. Duke Davis, all from that same spot. So
awesome.
Yeah. So and you recently, but you picked up a win over Lee Moriarty here.
Yeah,
not the far past there. So
that's what I tell people. What do me, CM Punk, and Bryan Danielson have in common? we all beat Lee Moriarty.
That's a great bar trivia question.
Those are names that are not that name drop either.
Who's the third
dude? Soon enough, they'll know.
Yeah.
Now, an off wrestling question here for you, just because looking at the last name, work or shoot, but I saw it and I'm like, wonder if he's related to the Sunseri family that produces a bunch of football stars here in the area. Any relation?
It's all in the bloodline. Tino is a second cousin of mine. And there was Vinny Sunseri that played at Alabama, then went to the Saints. That's his brother. So
yep.
Like if you're a Sunseri and you live in Pittsburgh, we're related somehow.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
it is my real name too, and I just use the same thing.
Yeah, we're all too familiar with Tino. He quarterbacked Central Catholic. We're all Woodland Hills alumni graduates here, so we're very familiar with the Sunseries and what they've done on the football field when it comes to that. So yeah, awesome, great. So you mentioned tonight's card. Maybe things have changed between your matchup specifically. Are you still wrestling Legacy tonight, or is card subject to change?
Legacy broke his leg. He will not be there. So as of now, I keep telling everybody, if you watch the promo, I should have already won the match. I suggested that we could watch my highlight film from my rookie year. We could just talk there for a little bit. People could come up and take pictures. But the plan is, I guess now somebody is wrestling me. I have no idea who, though. So if you guys are live in attendance, you'll find out whenever I do.
There you go.
Nice.
Open challenge.
Yeah, whoever it is, I don't know. We'll see.
Now you've done a lot in your rookie year here. I've saw you've traveled over to the UK and wrestled over there. Talk a little bit about that experience, especially with COVID and how that was for you, and just kind of how you've tried to navigate in a rookie year, given the times that we're in right now.
Going overseas for me was awesome. I mean, I was lucky the UK kind of lightened the restrictions like the week before that I got out there. So it was a lot more toned down at that point, kind of like how it is now in the States. But So everything was cool just going over there. Nobody cared. I mean, people cared, but you had to watch what you do. But just in general, just going out there and getting to wrestle Cole Carter, getting to wrestle Alan Lee Travis, who, if you look up like Guinness Book or World Records, this man has wrestled like 600 matches in a year overseas, which is like, try to figure that
How?
out. Multiple on one show, and like driving, like those guys in the UK are wild. They'll get in their car like a early or afternoon show, like a midday show, and a night show, bro. I'm not even joking.
Oh man,
they'll do 3.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was awesome. I mean, going to London I'm supposed to be going back sometime soon for the same promotion, LDN Wrestling. Might go to Ireland for them, might go to Brazil for them. So anytime I get a chance to put a cute little flag on my Instagram profile, I try to always take it. So
yeah, get that stamp in the passport book. For sure. So yeah, so besides WrestlePit, I saw you wrestled in Rise. You talked about LDN. Believe you were in Warriors of Wrestling as well. So like how did you talked a little bit about your start, but really what do you think the catalyst was for you for getting your name out there and being able to work all these different promotions right off the bat for you?
It helps having a lot of friends in the Pittsburgh area that are doing so well, like Lady Frost, like Victor Benjamin. If you guys know Beastman, it's hard to communicate with him. He's usually talking gibberish, but sometimes we can figure out how to communicate to each other, and he helps me out with some things. But one of the catalysts for me was getting to wrestle Lee. I mean, if you were to ask anybody at the beginning of 2021 and even this year, who's a breakout star, who do you think is one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, Lee Moriarty's on a lot of lists. So being able to get in there, wrestle with him was awesome. The match that Hopkins and I had at the last WrestlePit, I think was a great match, an awesome match. Now I'm trying to extend that out there and use that footage and use those relationships that I made to grow even more. Trying to get in different areas. I was just in Vegas and wrestled Sandra Moon, if you guys are aware of who she is. Tonight was supposed to wrestle Legacy, but we'll still see. Something's going to happen, I'm sure. But yeah, I would say the catalyst was just the relationships that I've made and getting to wrestle Lee. Yeah,
the I guess 22 minute match you had with Lee over in Rise. I watched that last night. It was a hell of a match. Move for move, hold for hold. You definitely held your own in there for sure. And like I said, you already picked up a victory over him. So
yeah,
you're by far and away off to a tremendous start. In the business is getting your name out there and establishing it as a guy that can go bell to bell, no pun intended, with the best of them in the ring.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. You guys got any additional questions? It's me. It's PWP.
Is there a moment that made you say, I want to do this? I want to wrestle?
Ever since I was a kid, I mean, my first memory of watching wrestling, I was just hooked to it, is WrestleMania 14. I was at the North Park Clubhouse watching HBK versus Stone Cold as a super young kid. And ever since then, I was just a fan of it. Finally got into it, and now we're here. Just trying to grow with it. Just a big fan.
It's not a bad one to get hooked on.
Kind of hurts you said 14.
WrestleMania 14?
Because we're old as shit.
Mine would be WrestleMania 6. So
whenever Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre.
Yeah.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Donald?
If you had a dream wrestler that you could work with, anybody in any promotion, who would it be?
Like any time frame?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like a dream one would be Shawn Michaels. He's the best of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great to wrestle against Shawn Michaels. Right now, I would say Darby Allin. I think him and I honestly could have a pretty sweet match. Both pretty athletic guys, same size frame. I think we could do something pretty cool.
Yeah, that Darby's a nice call there. You guys, I could already see that back and forth there. Man, taking that suicide dive he gives out. You might want to say no to that move.
Protection. I'll just move to the side.
There you go. Here you go.
The old Samoa Joe trick. Just move out of the way. Yeah.
Common sense.
Nope. Roll them in and pin them. That's it. There's the match.
Chris,
we're pretty still early on in 2022, but what would you like to accomplish this year in wrestling? Is there any promotions that you would rather go into, or Donald brought up matches, but is there anybody that you have your sights set on for this year?
Sights set on for this year, I'd love to get involved with some of these bigger promotions in some way. It seems pretty feasible that AEW trying to get seen and get on Dark or Elevation could be something that could happen this year. I don't see why it wouldn't. They're coming to Pittsburgh in April, so that's always a time for if you're showing out in your city.
You have a bunch of connections here.
Yeah, got some connections as well too, so that'd be cool. Impact's doing something similar to that as well too. So trying to get involved with Impact again, having some good connections there with Lady Frost and meeting some people, that'd be cool. So just growing and getting to be on bigger shows, GCW, BLP. There's so many different indie promotions too that would even be just a little bit of a level up from what I'm currently doing. So just growing, just trying to get to the bigger shows. So you guys know, like that's the way to go. So
absolutely. Now you
I do want to wrestle Enzo though. I want to wrestle Enzo. I don't know how many people are coming out there saying that, but I want to wrestle Enzo.
That would be really interesting between the two of you.
Yeah.
I would sit back and just enjoy the promo battle to get me into the building for the match itself.
Yeah.
Because I like I said, I'm watching you and seeing what you do here. Talk about your character and talk about the superior athlete, the superior man, how you came to develop that and what you do to show that you are superior.
The superior athlete, the superior man is just turning myself up to 12, being confident, being able to do something that a Dante Martin can do, being able to do something that Lee Moriarty could do, being able to do something that a Dean Malenko could do, a Chris Jericho could do, a Rey Mysterio, all these styles that influence me, putting that into who I am, and then just turning it all the way up, being cocky about it, being almost flamboyant in a way about it, looking good, impressing, just being myself, man, whenever I get out there. As soon as my music hits, can't nobody hold me down by P. Diddy. I'm ready to go.
That's it.
I'm the
you mentioned Malenko there, and that's somebody that obviously one of the best technical wrestlers we've seen. And I was a huge fan of him back in the day in WCW as the Iceman. What about his style resonated with you to where you wanted to take from him? As well as the other wrestlers that you mentioned, what about their particular styles and what they did in the ring made an impression on you?
Malenko, just of like how he can get out of a hold and get offensive with it. Like he could be on his back in 2 seconds. He's flipped around. He's on top. I try to have a little bit more charisma than Malenko, but being able to like use his move set and just take little things of his and little ways that he gets in and out of things is just beneficial for me, because there is still a lot of people that love to watch that wrestling. It doesn't always have to be like, all right, I'm going to try to kill this guy with 15 front flip move, kick to the chest. Sometimes an arm bar and just trying to put somebody down to the ground is just as impactful in a match, and it can look aesthetically pleasing if you do it the right way as well too. So those are reasons why I like Malenko. But all those lucha guys from like the mid 90s, Juventud, Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, all those guys. I love to watch them back on like ECW even, or early WCW. Just how they move around in the ring and transition into different things. And then guys like RVD, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, that's just another group of guys that I like to watch as well too. But I like to pull from a lot of different things.
You're definitely getting some of the best of the best in there. And
I try to watch a good one.
we talk about this all the time too. You brought up that it's just yourself just being turned up to 12, and I think we all agree that's usually the best way to develop a character, because that's usually what connects with the fans the most.
I think it is too. And then if you're just being yourself and you're able to just turn it all the way up, your evolution over time as well too, it could change. I mean, look at somebody like Chris Jericho. He's been Chris Jericho since freaking 94?
94.
Yeah. He's evolved so much until 2022, just slight little things. He's still Chris Jericho. And that's what I'd like to be with Joey Sunseri. Is I might not be the superior athlete, the superior man this time next year. I might be doing something different, but I'm going to take myself and grow it into that. It's always going to be myself, just maybe in a different form.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's the word we keep hearing a lot lately? Stupendous. maybe that's the evolution.
Stupendous, Joey Sunseri.
Now, as a wrestler, how much wrestling do you watch, and are you watching as a fan or as an opportunist?
If I check something out on AEW, it's mostly if like Lee is doing something, I always like to keep tabs on him. Anybody that I know on Darker Elevation, they get a shot, I'd like to watch them as well too. As a fan, I mean, I'm usually in the gym or I'm training myself, especially on Mondays, Wednesdays. So I don't watch too much of anything that's going on right now. I mostly just watch older stuff off Peacock or things like that. Or if somebody just sends me a recommendation of something to watch, or I'll find something on YouTube that I like, just to watch it more for studying purposes than as a fan right now. One day I'll get back to just strictly watching as a fan. But right now I'm super focused on anytime I'm watching a wrestling match, there has to be like a reason why I'm watching that match. Is it to watch somebody I'm going up against, to watch somebody that I want to learn from because they've been in a similar situation, or somebody who I'd like to try to become more of their moveset or use some of their ideas and implement them in my own way. So I try to just watch mostly for studying.
Yeah, you got to be a student in the game no matter what you're in. I know, us doing this podcast, just four idiots getting together to talk about things that we love and we're passionate about. But over the time that we've done it, I've grown to watch other people in their shows to see how they move, whether it's a Pat McAfee show or, whether it's listening to Conrad and JR talk, or, just take what you can and try to add it into your arsenal to make yourself better by following the ones that are already established in the industry that you want to get in is always a good thing to do.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, awesome. So we appreciate your time here. Gracious that you came on. Love promoting the show. So again, tonight, WrestlePit, second event ever, 7 p.m. bell time. Doors open, around 6:30?
6.
6? Okay, doors open at 6.
Pre-show match.
Any plans for future events that you know of right now for WrestlePit? Do they have an idea on how many they want to do this year in the area?
They're trying to do like 4 quarterly shows, so this will be the second one. So they're going to try to do 2 more from the calendar year when they started. So
yeah, I mean, we have IWC here in the area, but having another true home-based promotion to go to and support is something that the 4 of us are excited for to get behind and see it grow and develop as it moves forward here. So yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, being able to have the show in the city too is so sweet for me. So I'm hoping that pulls a lot of different fans and a lot of people that are just in the area too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
All right,
great
so-
location tonight. Looking forward to seeing how that turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah, open challenge. Don't know who's going to walk through the curtain or down that aisle, but whoever does, they're going to be in for a long night once they step in the ring with the superior athlete. That's for sure.
Yes,
That's
sir.
that's that forbidden door.
Specifically, this card. Besides obviously your match, you're going to go out there to try to steal the show and be the one that whenever the fans leave, that your name's on the tip of their tongues talking about what you did in the ring. But what matchups are you most excited for tonight, based on the card that's out there right now?
Jason Hotch, Bro Keller, and Matt Taven is going to be a sweet 3-way match. I've never watched a pure rules match before. Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah. So I followed ROH and watched it. It's time round. You have, certain can't use a closed fist. You're only allowed certain number of rope breaks before those become null and void. It's definitely an homage to the old school style of wrestling, similar to what they did in the UK for a while with the rounds formula there. So I would definitely, if you haven't seen it or not familiar with it, tune in for that, because it's a different presentation, and goes back to like how we talked about the chain wrestling and the transitions and moveset that some people may not be into, but when it's done in a way, it's fantastic to watch.
Yeah, so that's Josh Woods and Victor Benjamin, who are both legitimate mixed martial artists too. So that's going to be a good match. Main event.
Nice. And we got Lady Frost against Lufisto.
Yeah, I think that one's one of those cards are subject to change. I'm not sure if Lufisto will be there, but I know there's a couple good up and coming women that are going to be attending the show, so I wouldn't be surprised if Lady Frost still just took one of them and had a match. So it'll be a good one.
I'm excited to see her live. Probably
unless she wants to walk out whenever I go, but I don't know if she wants to do that in front of the camera. Her dad usually is there and stuff. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, one of the best moonsaults that I see from men or women. The height she gets on that is ridiculous.
Yeah, if she ever starts doing the lion salt, I got to stop doing it because I can't make it look as good as her. So that's the only backflip that I do is the lion salt. Can't do anything else.
Absolutely. Any other questions from the three of you guys, Jason, Donald, or Chris, for Joey before we get out of here and let him get ready to go down and impress the world with his superior ability tonight?
I'm good on questions, but thank you for coming on and your time today.
No problem.
Have a great show tonight.
Yeah, I'll see if you guys are there, and I'm going to swing at intermission. I'll swing out. I'm going to say hey to some people. So if you guys are there, I'll see you.
No, absolutely. And before you go, just go ahead, plug your stuff, plug WrestlePit and anything else you want to get across. Where can we find you? How can people, tune in to Joey Sunseri?
It's pretty easy to find me online. I got everything branded as at Joey Sunseri. So ATJOEYSUNSERI. WrestlePit tonight. The first show was awesome. The second show is lined up to be even better. Awesome show that these people are putting on. The venue tonight is even better. Everything's set up. It has a higher seating as well too. It's going to have a pretty cool atmosphere inside of there. Other than that, Rise Wrestling, you could check us out, Uniontown and PA. Those are the only two PA things that I'm really doing if you're local. But at Joey Sunseri everywhere else, and then that's it. Hopefully I see you guys tonight.
Yep, absolutely. There you go. For everybody here in the 412 area, get down there tonight. Support the local wrestling promotion, WrestlePit. You will not be disappointed. It's going to be a hell of a card, and we look forward to watching it later on tonight. Thank you again for your time. We appreciate it. And look forward to seeing you in some capacity tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks. Here you have it, folks. Joey Sunseri, locally produced talent that I think I really enjoy his work. Like I said, I watched him over the last couple of days, getting familiar with him as well as some of the other people that I didn't know who were going to be on the WrestlePit card tonight. And yeah, I really dig. You can tell the Pittsburgh attitude comes out for sure. So those of us that are from the area, we chuckle because we know what that is. But no, he's definitely somebody that I'm going to keep an eye on moving forward for sure.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm.
All right. So with that being said, we got the local indie promotion going on tonight with WrestlePit. Let's jump over to the I guess the more nationally known promotions here in pro wrestling in the world that was Bell to Bell. Before we get into a couple high level bird's eye view topics that we like, which came up this week, circle back around to last weekend, Impact's pay-per-view. Couple big time swerves there that many people didn't see coming, but definitely made Impact be on a lot of people's lips and timelines this week with what they did, not only at the pay-per-view, but followed that up Thursday night. We had the swerve with Jay White turning on God, as well as the Heart of Impact, Eddie Edwards, switching over to Honor No More. Did you guys catch the show? What'd you think of the turns and what Impact's done recently?
I feel like every week there's like 8 guys standing over somebody. That's all I see.
Yeah, that's all I saw with the picture of Jay White standing over. I was like, wow.
Listening to Eddie Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Cam.
Thank
for
you.
tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get down there tonight if you can. If you're not doing nothing, hit me up after the show because I definitely plan on going down there. So yeah, I definitely did not see the Jay White coming. That's one that completely caught me off guard. Eddie Edwards was somewhat of a surprise as well. And I like what they did with both of them. It gets people talking, gets people interested. And I keep saying it every week we're on the show. If you're not watching Impact, you need to watch Impact because they're putting on some really good work recently. And, they deserve some more eyes on the product than what they've been getting.
They've been building up to Rebellion, which is what, in April?
Yeah, but they have a show next week, No Surrender.
Okay. And I mean, but building up to Rebellion, like everybody thought it was going to be like Impact versus Ring of Honor. Now you got this twist of the Bullet Club, so where's it, who knows where this is going? And it'll be interesting to see the next few weeks as they build up to that pay-per-view more.
Yeah, and next week you got, like I said, No Surrender. You got Jay White against Alex Shelley, his former mentor. So that'll be a hell of a match. I believe you're going to have Moose versus Brian Myers, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. Him and Morrissey had a hell of a match for the Impact World title. That was, big men. Big hoss fight going at it. Yeah. And, apparently Moose is injured. He has I believe he came out and said he has a torn labrum. At some point he's going to have to get that fixed. So don't know how that's going to affect the plans for Impact moving forward or how long he keeps the belt. But
who would be the next guy? Because everybody thought it was going to be Josh. So who's really the next guy in Impact?
That's an interesting question. And I think they can go a lot of ways right now. So yeah,
there's one I'm thinking, and I hope they don't go back that route. But I think that Impact's gonna play it safe and do it. But we'll see.
Well, who's the safety net? Who do you put it back on?
Be Eddie.
Who do you Eddie?
Eddie.
So
he's their safety net for everything.
So you wouldn't want to see Eddie with this new attitude, new character get a run with the belt?
No, I don't. I'd rather see. I think that's Impact's problem right now is establishing stars, just like WWE.
Interesting. For men and women, or just the men?
The men. The women's a completely different thing. That's why I watch Impact is for the women.
Yeah, Mickey and Tasha had a really good match. Deanna is doing her thing, So yeah, I think Jordan Grace, you have the Inspiration versus What's Matt? I
Who?
can't remember what Madison Rain is called. Madison Rain and Tennille Dashwood are calling themselves. But you got those that matchup there for the Knockouts tag team titles. So yeah, I mean, I agree. From a women's standpoint, Impact, they've always been good with the knockouts. So definitely tune in there. All right, so that was Impact. I guess from the two big boys, we'll touch on stuff as we work through from the week. But one thing that I want to get into, and I sent it over in the text, is promo school.
Mhm.
This week, you had Edge's promo on Monday Night Raw. Wednesday night, you had MJF. Then you had Jericho and Eddie. And then last night, you had Roman and Brock, and you also had Britt with Thunder. Hell of a week on the microphone across the board in pro wrestling.
You ain't gonna put Ronda in there?
No, that was terrible.
Our favorite promo person of the
year. I hated everything they did with her last night on SmackDown to start the show.
Same.
I did not. It didn't do her any favors at all. Rehashing everything, which we all know already.
No.
It's literally been the same promo every time she's talked.
She needs a Paul Heyman.
Yep.
She needs a Heyman,
or at least someone backstage like a Paul Heyman to help her out, if not on the actual show.
Yeah, and this is not me hating on Ronda, because I do think she can talk. It's just the material they're giving her and how they want her to present it. It's just not helping her at all. So yeah, I don't see that being a main event, even though they already announced it as the main event of night one. Like, I just don't. Her and Charlotte, to me, is not a main event of WrestleMania.
It's because of the name. That's what Vince sees.
Yeah, that's it. It's just because of the name.
Like, that's not. If I'm buying a ticket to each night individually, and I got Ronda and Charlotte night one as my main event, and I got Brock and Roman night two as my main event, I'm buying the ticket to night two just on main event alone.
Mm-hmm.
And they got 6 weeks left to build it up, but I don't know what else you could possibly do over the next 6 weeks to get me invested in wanting to see Charlotte and Ronda as the main event.
Just like we said before, it shouldn't have been Charlotte. The story was written for Becky, so I think everybody's souring because of that.
What are your thoughts on that as far as
I have no issue with it.
Event?
I have no issue with it. I love Charlotte. Maybe it's just me. Everybody else seems to hate her. I love Charlotte. I'll watch her main event anything.
I'll side with you, Jay, with the point of I think that the match is going to be fine. I think it's going to be a good main event. There's not going to be a problem with it. It's just the build-up that it's not the match I wanted to see, and the build-up hasn't been there yet.
Yeah, yet it doesn't scream to me, oh, this has to go on last, right? Yeah. Like, I don't get that feeling from them two. Brock and Roman, yeah, absolutely get that, right?
We have a month to go, actually 5 weeks today, and here we are 5 weeks, and it feels like the way they built SmackDown last night is that WrestleMania is like in a week or two. You know, so like you had like the announcement of the main events, and you had the contract signing for night two main event, the title championship unification. Just like it feels like they're really putting the cart before the horse this year. But I mean, we'll see what the buildup is the next 5 weeks.
So would you put Bianca and Becky as a night one main event, or what would you put as night one main event? What do you think is worthy of?
Well, that's just the thing. Like, they announced what we know of 3 matches for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have Bianca, Becky, we have Ronda, Charlotte, we got Brock, Roman. We know those 3 are set in stone, right? You're probably going to have Miz, Logan Paul versus the Mysterios. You may have Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. But other than that, like, you still have both nights to fill with matches. So I don't even know what else I would say would go in that main event slot, because we really don't know what else is out there from a matchup standpoint.
Would you put an Edge regardless?
Edge and AJ, if they do Edge and AJ,
that's gonna be one of those matches that, depending on where it happens in the card, like if that's like the semi-main event, it's gonna be hard to top that, I think.
Yeah,
so if that doesn't open.
Yeah, you roll them two out there right before Ronda and Charlotte. Ronda and Charlotte are going to be lost. Like, that's not. I wouldn't do that as far as setting up the card. But
yeah, that's WrestleMania 25 all over.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the better, just on paper, to me, the better match is going to be Bianca Becky. I just think that they can go better than what Charlotte and Ronda can. Now, I like all four women. Like, I'm with you. I like all four of them, so I don't have a problem with either. I'm okay with if they're continuing with this 2-night event, that we see women main event one night, men main event another night. Like, I don't have a problem with that. But the match itself, it doesn't interest me as much as the other one. I'd rather see the Raw Women's Championship over the SmackDown Women's Championship. Right now.
Yeah, so but just circling back to what I initially we got sidetracked there, but circling back to the initial promo school thing, based off the microphone this week. Edge's promo Monday night, spotlight on middle of the ring, that tends to be Edge's thing nowadays. The Hamlet soliloquy that he gives. And afterwards it was, I saw a lot of, Edge is the best promo in the business. Edge is doesn't miss when he's in the ring by himself talking. Like, a lot of stuff was out there hyping the praise of that promo. Then Wednesday night came.
Don't do it.
Don't do what?
Don't do it.
Don't do what?
Don't
do what? Go ahead, say it.
Don't heap praise on this.
On which one?
MJF?
Okay. All right. So what this is going to be.
There we go.
This is where we're going to go. What did you not like about the MJF promo from Wednesday night?
It didn't resonate with me.
Okay. Why didn't it resonate? And this isn't me being, poking the bear with the
why. It just didn't.
No, legitimately, because and I'll bring up reasons as to why, like, based off of what I saw, and obviously Donald and Chris can give your thoughts on it as well. But just curious, honestly, like, what did not resonate with you from that promo Wednesday?
You could tell it was an act.
Donald, Chris?
I didn't mind the promo because, to me, I think the story was getting stale. So they had to take a turn somewhere to, like, pull you back in. It's been going on for so long. And him doing this, like, humane side to him telling his story, it felt like it pulled the fans back in. Especially with Punk going out there with no mic and that stuff. But you can still hear him saying, like, is this true? Is this true?
Boy. WWE does soap operas. Okay.
But all wrestling is soap operas.
All wrestling is.
I mean,
but for me, like I said, it pulled me back in a little bit because it was just dragging.
If you want to act, be good at it. Be Denzel.
Well, I mean, Denzel's like top 2 or 3 all time. Like,
this is where I'm going to disagree with you.
If you want to act, be good at it. Like, he can go out there and cut the heel promo. He's great. He's great on the mic. Don't start throwing in emotions when you can't really give true emotion. It didn't come across as authentic to me.
Chris, it didn't come across as authentic?
No. Like, I'm actually going to side with Jason on this one. I didn't enjoy the promo at all, like the whole thing. because I felt the same way. To me, now from what I'm seeing, it sounds like this is actually a true story, but
it was a shoot promo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But to me, it didn't feel authentic. To me, the whole thing came off very fake. And I don't know if that's just me buying into MJF as a heel, that I just didn't buy into him as telling a legit like face story. But like it was so off brand for me that I didn't buy into any of it. Like after it was over, I was just like, okay. Like I saw everybody else talking about on Twitter how great it was.
Greatest,
yeah, it didn't do that for me. I haven't gone back and rewatched it yet, but it actually did. I'll side with Jason. It did the reverse for me.
See,
and how many times do me and Jason agree on AEW stuff?
I didn't look at it as him cutting a babyface promo. I looked at it as the villain giving his
origin story.
His origin story. Like it was, whether it's, the what's his face from The Incredibles, like, I mean, it was a shoot. It was a shoot promo.
And you can do that, but be authentic in it. Don't give me a wide range of emotions. Just tell me your story, and I'll enjoy it. Don't come out with a tear in your eye and then be firing brimstone at the end.
When you're talking about
nah. When you're passionate, then come do it.
But it was okay for Flair to do it after the Rumble with a tear in my eye. It was okay.
That came off as passionate. I agree. I don't feel like MJF's promo came off as passionate. To me, it was fake acting. That's the way it came off to me.
And to me, if that was part of the character, him faking like not getting like he's it was part of the character. Okay, like you're gonna swerve on Punk regardless. In the end, don't try like people are falling for it like it's an actual babyface turn or something.
Well, not the turn, but I mean the words in the story.
It's factual. Yeah, I mean, I can sit you and I can tell you my story and not break I can tell you my life story and not break a tear.
Yeah, but I mean, I think depending on what you went through and what you're telling in the story of can garner different emotions at the same time.
It can, but you could tell it wasn't genuine. You could tell when somebody's out there truly crying over their story.
See, I don't know. I tend to disagree, and maybe this is just me relying on my past experiences with stuff and how I've reacted in situations where you've gone from the range of fighting back tears to anger to like how all that plays out in a span of
but you can pick up the authenticity in it.
So your big thing is that even though it was his truth and it was his real life story, you felt that it didn't come off as him being authentic.
He played it for the camera. Yeah.
Because the whole time I was expecting the way I'm not even talking about like knowing MJF. I'm talking about just the way I felt his tone was delivering the promo. I was just really expecting him to break at some point and just start laughing and just be like, "You really thought I was serious about this shit?" or something like that. Like just his whole tone. Like I said, I wasn't hooked at all with it.
I think that was the genius in what he did, because it made you think that he was going to do that. Like there were certain pauses in that where you go, okay, this is where he's going to crack the smile and turn on the crowd and, call you marks and everything else. You know what I mean? Like, but you never got that. It stayed in the moment of what it did. I agree with Donald. I think it definitely added a layer to the story and made it more intriguing as to the upcoming dog collar match. Like it added that additional layer. Like, right now,
I'll agree with that.
I mean, right now, Punk, like to me, looking at it, how they ended it, Punk is questioning, okay, like this is just me thinking what Punk in that situation based off of his reaction and coming out and asking, is it true and everything else. Like now he's doubting whether or not he can go to that level of violence in a dog collar match based off of what MJF just said. But like he's questioning everything he thought about the man.
Just last week, it was another Friday.
What do you mean?
That was last week.
Just last week, it was just another Friday.
Yeah, that was last week.
Now your origin story. Talks on my horse. Get the soap opera out of here, man. Just keep it matching.
This goes back to you. This goes back to you not needing any story and just
if you gonna give me a story, be good at it. Act it out great. No.
All right. Well, then, so with that, then let's we'll pause on this or circle back around to it. But then let's jump over to the other promo segment from Dynamite on Wednesday night with Jericho and Eddie.
It went on too long.
I didn't see that one.
And Jericho, I enjoyed Eddie because it just felt like Eddie was being Eddie.
Yeah. So Eddie's believability and his authenticity comes through every time he's on the mic, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't ever hear Eddie talk and go, okay, he's doing it for the character or he's putting on the show, right?
Eddie feels like Eddie.
Okay. So that's what was missing between MJF and Eddie for you. Was MJF didn't feel like MJF. You felt like he was just going
from the beginning.
From the walkout.
Long 20-minute promo back then.
Donald, you said you didn't watch Jericho and
no, I
Eddie?
Didn't. No, I didn't. Mm-mm.
Chris, what'd you think about them two?
It didn't connect with me either. I was kind of bored with that one as well this week.
Man.
It was on Jericho's end for me.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think it was Jericho.
And I saw a lot of people just praising Jericho for that segment in that promo, and I'm like, yeah, Eddie wiped the floor with him.
I'd agree with that between the two.
And take even if you take the sports entertainer dig and tell your boy Levesque, you know, that he hated, like I want that Jericho. Like to me, Eddie ate Jericho up. You know, like if you're looking at these two, Eddie's the one that you relate to, right? He's the guy's guy. You see him out on the street, he's wearing the same Tim's sweatpants and shirt that he has on in the ring. He's wearing it out, walking to the store in the corner. You know what I mean? Like that's Eddie. Jericho, like you can't relate to Jericho no more.
But there was some elements I felt Jericho could have kept in is just like cut the promo down to half that. There was some digs he got in. I thought you were a jobber and stuff like that. It was.
Yeah, to me, Jericho.
There was a lot of it that just have been.
Jericho for me lately, like it just, like I look at him and I feel like you're trying too hard to be cool. Like the influencer and the jobber and the demo god and Le Champion and all that, like that was like organic based off of what went on, and that was like, but now you're like pushing stuff to make it stick to get it over, and I'm just like the GFY, like, you know, it was just like I don't.
And even if we double back to the Inner Circle meeting. Like
even there, that was
Proud and Powerful. It came off as like I enjoyed their part of the thing. Yeah. Jericho just fell flat with me.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
And
do you think this is like the next Jericho's like in that next evolution of his character right now? Like, you know, he's coming off of Inner Circle stuff, and maybe he's trying to figure out where we're going to go next. Maybe that was part of it, you know, trying to figure out where his character coming on. He returned to Painmaker not too long ago, back to Inner Circle, and now he's going to go wherever next because it's going to be different around for him.
See, I think this may be, and this may be me jumping to conclusions on the conclusion map, but not saying that Jericho can't out promo Eddie Kingston or can't out promo Santana and Ortiz, but maybe this is Jericho sliding into that role a la Cody, where he's the one that's gonna he's the one that's gonna get everybody over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So maybe and again, this is me jumping to conclusions, but not that he toned it down to get Eddie and Santana and Ortiz over in these promos, because they're over, right? Especially in AEW, those three people are over regardless, right? But to get them over to the next level from a general audience standpoint,
let them outshine you.
Because it's like, oh, you got one up on Jericho on the mic. Jericho don't lose in promos. The man's been cutting promos for 25 years. Like he's one of the best on the mic. So wait a second. Jericho got shown up in a promo? Okay. Now I'm interested. Now I'm going to see, is he still got it in the ring, or has he lost it there too? Like,
coming off a loss in the tag team match.
I mean, if he goes the bum ass Corbin route, it's the lows.
You gonna drop him that low?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought Eddie was superb. For me, Eddie can talk anybody in the building. I've been saying that since day one, since I first heard him in NWA. Like, and when I saw him in Impact with Santana and Ortiz as LAX, like, it just, whatever it was with him, it just automatically resonated right off the bat for me with him. I know you guys feel differently about it, but like, and then hearing his story, and that Jericho touched on it, with your physical look, your mental health, whatever the case may be, like reading his article, that he put out there in his interview, like, it just, he resonates with me for whatever reason. So I'm never not going to be a fan of Eddie Kingston. I don't know whether or not the match is going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, Styles make fights. Styles make fights, and I don't know if this is the best stylistically, unless Jericho Chris goes to that Painmaker route where he's just in there brawling and everything else, which he can do.
Yeah.
And I think that would be better suited for this match coming up.
Sure.
Don't give me line salts and Hurricane Ranas. Like, get in there and brawl and
that he's having a lot of difficulty with these days.
Be a brawl, but don't be a street fight. Don't be don't be a gimmick match. Just be a brawl in the ring. Maybe take it outside the ring.
Do we have the gimmick match yet?
The dog collar.
We got the dog collar and
we got the dog collar
in the face of the Revolution.
No, I meant more like a street fight style, but
maybe not yet.
Dog collar could fit in there, but yeah, you don't have a street fight yet, so or a lights out match.
So for Jason and Chris, neither one of the big promo segments on Wednesday night resonated with you guys. What did you think about Edge's promo on Monday night?
I enjoyed it because it just feels like he brings you in. Like, so all the focus is on him, and he can keep your attention. But was it out of the park?
It felt like an Edge promo.
Yeah,
it did. It was just an Edge promo.
Doesn't need the praise.
It was just an Edge promo. That's all what it was.
Was it an okay promo? Yes, but I'll agree with that. I've heard it before. He's done that promo before. So it's like Monday night, that didn't do anything for me either. Watching that, but if I haven't heard that the past couple years at WrestleMania, maybe it would have been better for me. But he's done that. It seems every time this year he does that same style of promo,
and he did it back then too with the Undertaker. The same thing.
Did the teases, the hints, the drops during the promo get you excited all for the possible matchups?
No,
because we had the phenomenal line. Obviously, everybody connects that to AJ.
No,
we had the undeniable Cody, and then your inner demon. To me, I took that as being Finn, which Edge has said he's wanted to work with Finn. Back when him and Christian were doing the podcast. Out of those three possible matchups for Edge, who out of those three would you want to see him face at WrestleMania?
I think you all know my answer.
AJ.
Yeah, I think him and AJ got to happen. And shout out to AJ for securing the bag, man. Re-signed with WWE.
Yes.
Upwards of $3 million a year.
Does it seem like we've had this conversation though a few times the past year? That we hear AJ's resigned. We heard AJ's resigned. It's like this wasn't like the first time I think in the past year that we've talked about AJ contract.
Yeah, but this is the first time that AJ's actually come out and said, "I've resigned."
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer rumor and innuendo. He actually confirmed that he signed, and he even said that after this, whether or not he hangs it up after this next contract run, he wants to work backstage in some capacity at WWE. So he's a lifer there now.
Yeah, he says he really enjoyed his time down in NXT and could see himself as a coach or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you get him and Shawn Michaels down there in NXT, like that's a huge get to where you can build up that developmental talent with those two. Still, that's probably one of the dream matches that I wanted to see and never got to see was Shawn and AJ.
So that brings up my point that I was trying to do a couple weeks ago. Is AJ Impact guy or WWE guy now?
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, time wise, if you look at number of years, by the time he's done with this run, it will be almost equal, if not more, in WWE than he had in Impact.
Mm-hmm.
It's already been that long.
Yeah, it's been long. Yeah, it's been that long already.
I mean, I like him.
2016.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
he's already on 6 years. Like
the mom haircut, that's WWE. You gotta break it down by hairstyles.
But that was before WWE.
Yeah, he did.
That was before that.
He had that towards the end of his Impact run. That was like his thing gimmick that he was going with. But
I forgot Jason don't know AJ Styles pre 2016.
I do. I didn't see the long hair.
To your question, Don, I think I'll always see AJ more as an Impact guy, just for how many years I followed him there. But at the same time, to me, I don't really want to classify him as one type, because to me, AJ Styles, whether it's TNA, NWA, New Japan, or WWE, to me, he's still probably the greatest in-ring performer of this generation. And, that I think he can do that anywhere. So
he's just a wrestler.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's not tied down by one promotion.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll say AJ. Yeah, I think AJ's the right call here. You got to get them two at some point to touch, because it is an a-la dream match.
Mm-hmm.
That if you tell the story right, I mean, I don't know what story you could tell, but you could tell a story to where you would want to see that in the main event slot on night one.
I think the best thing that AJ's done the past few years is really establish himself as a WrestleMania main eventer. We talked about Shawn Michaels, and it's almost I'm not saying he is that, but I think he's taking a page out of Shawn Michaels.
He's definitely stolen the show more times than not on Mania.
Yes,
based off of his matches.
Yeah. And I mean, you've had the Undertaker now give him his dues, that AJ is such a great wrestler, and for Undertaker, it was Kurt Angle telling him, "Hey, you got to wrestle AJ. You're not good. He's the best one to do it." And so you had Kurt Angle, you had the Undertaker. I'm sure now you're going to get Edge's seal of approval, and it's just, he wanted Triple H, but unfortunately that didn't happen. And that's why we got what we got last year. But it's just, he is who he is. He's phenomenal.
All right. So jumping to last night with Britt and Thunder with the contract signing. Let's pose this question out there. We had 2 contract signings last night, Brock and Roman, Britt and Thunder. Which one did you like more?
Britt.
Roman.
I didn't get a chance to see either. I was at the airport.
I was shocked last night where it was 9:37 and Roman's music hit. Yeah. And I'm like, they're going to carry this out for 20 minutes.
But 10 minutes is always his entrance.
Well, you had entrance, and then you had commercial breaks.
2 commercials.
Yeah, and I was like, this is a lot of time to give to it. I thought Roman was great last night. Brock doing what Brock does.
Just to see him come from where he was to where he's at now. Like when he snapped and got out, like, this is mine. I enjoyed all of that. And then Paul staring down Brock the whole time. That did it for me.
It is by far the even though we've seen this match so much.
You're
Right?
just getting
We've seen it
different.
how many times, right?
It's different.
It's different this time.
Yeah.
And I don't need a tagline of biggest
different?
WrestleMania match of all time. I don't need that. Okay.
You're getting it. You're going to get it. Hits different. That's what you're going to get.
And Heyman brought up some of the matches last night. But biggest WrestleMania. I mean, Brock Roman unification, is that bigger than Hogan Warrior?
No,
because it unified the IC and the WWE championship at that time.
It didn't unify. It was just they just got both titles. It wasn't unification. Is it the match that's the biggest of all time, or is it the stipulation that's the biggest of all time? Because to me, it's the stipulation, not the match.
It might be the stipulation, because the landscape's going to change after this.
Yeah, the match isn't the biggest of all time. Yeah, allegedly.
You get a screwy finish. Carry them to SummerSlam.
Yeah, as much as I enjoyed the Roman Brock on SmackDown, I got to go with Britt and Thunder. For me, Britt again, promo wise, to me, she cut a hell of a promo last night and called out the shortcomings. What's that?
To me, now all she is DMD. That's it. The promo didn't hit either.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
I more wanted to see what Jamie and Mercedes was going to do.
No,
I was more interested in that.
This is the one that me and you will disagree with AEW on. Because this one, Thunder and Britt both drew me in on this one. But not to say that it drew me in any more than what I already was, but I think it finally gave that interaction that you need to tell that story building up to the match, and I was glad to finally get that.
It's been a year in the making, right? Literally almost a year to the day in the making, and they haven't touched.
And maybe that's sour for me.
They haven't interacted. They haven't done. I mean, like
just a little bit recently. That's it.
When are we getting it? When are we getting it? Who's going to be the one to dethrone Britt? It's Thunder. When are they going to pull the trigger on Thunder? They need to get back and tell this story and finish it off. And like, to me, the whole keeping them separate for the year has just added into what we're getting now and started to culminate last night with the contract signing.
Britt's line of "Who got over in that match? You that won or me?" I love that. That was probably my favorite. Yeah.
And calling it out. I got the T-shirt. I got the action figure. I got this, and held up the belt. Like, what did you get? So who really won? I mean, that was tremendous, like you said. Absolutely.
So we're a year later, like you're saying, and we'll probably get more into this when we do our prediction show for Revolution. But right now, a week away. Do they put the belt on Thunderverse at Revolution?
Yeah, they do. The pop's going to be tremendous.
Yes. It's time.
The next question, do you put it in the main event? AEW has not had a women's match main event at pay-per-view yet.
No.
I say yes.
Yes.
I think the story's bigger than
you're killing Hangman.
Than Hangman and Cole.
Everything's overshadowing Hangman right now.
That's a valid point.
It is. He's getting the Big E treatment. Sorry.
I wouldn't go that far and say he's getting the Big E treatment, because I really enjoyed what he did Wednesday night, mocking the story time with Adam Cole, sitting down, giving more of their history, more of their backstory. Cole and Bobby Fish were tremendous. Hearing the ad libs that they were doing, Bobby Fish is like, what grave are you talking about? What do you even mean graveyard? Like, what are you doing? Like, I thought them two outside the ring were tremendous, but I really liked what Hangman did Wednesday night. Like, it got me on board for seeing them two go at it.
The only I think, unfortunately for me, and I think I brought this up before the past few weeks, I think there's so many things going on with like Adam Cole and that whole storyline that I think that's going to be Cole's downfall in that match and why he won't win the title. But I think that all the other stuff is overshadowing his storyline over Hangman. Like I don't think they this week was probably the best they've done to actually do Hangman versus Adam Cole. Instead, it's just been so much of the inner strife of the groups than Hangman. And that's actually a complaint I have on AEW more than once, that sometimes storylines overlap one another too much and they don't focus on one story for the title.
For me, if I was booking it, I would have this match at Double or Nothing.
Yes.
Hangman
I'll have it at Double or Nothing. I would have just fed somebody else the Hangman for now until you built a legit story with it.
If they're giving Cole the title belt. If they're not, I can understand.
Yeah.
Not putting a Double or Nothing.
For me, if Thunder and Britt is not a main event of a pay-per-view, then what women's match is going to main event a pay-per-view for AEW?
It's very true.
Yeah. Current
And
roster,
I don't look at it so much as overshadowing Hangman with him not going on last. It's just, we talk about women's revolution and women's wrestling and everything else, and the story and who each of those two women are and what they mean to that company, as well as to the fan base of that company, your diehards of AEW that just watch AEW only. Like, those two are the golden gooses as far as babyface heel in AEW from the women's side of things. Like I said, I don't know if you don't pull the trigger on it now, then when and who? Because I don't think you're going to get what you have right now in these two, given the year-long build and story and what Britt's done, what Thunder has gotten knocked down and come back, losing in the TBS tournament when she was a favorite. You got to put it on last. And we'll see what they do next week, because next week Dynamite could, it could catapult Hangman and Cole to me wanting to see them in the main event.
Yeah.
But right now, as of today, what they've done so far, I would want to see Britt and Thunder in the main event.
And where do you go with Britt and Thunder next week? Do you do anything with them? I mean, you got to do something. You got to do it, whether it's on Dynamite or Rampage. You got to do something with them. But what else? I can
see a tag match next week.
Okay.
If they do decide to have them touch before the pay-per-view, you could have Mercedes and Thunder against Britt and Jamie. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Don't know if I necessarily want that either.
They could just beat each other's face, face off. Britt holding the belt up. Don't have to touch, just in each other's face.
Yeah.
After one of their lackeys and matches and all that stuff. Something.
All right. Looking at the card for Revolution, it's a stacked card. It's a loaded card. A lot of good matchups for me, top to bottom so far with what they've introduced. And I know we can't compare a one-night pay-per-view to a two-night pay-per-view. But based off of what they've announced for Revolution and what you have going on for WrestleMania right now, which pay-per-view are you more excited to watch?
Revolution.
You even gotta ask me.
Revolution.
All right, Jay. Here, maybe this will sour you on WWE.
Nothing.
It won't.
It won't.
So, announcement was made last night. Pat McAfee will have Vince McMahon on his show this week. I believe it's going to be Monday at noon.
Thursday, I think.
Thursday?
I think so.
Rumor is that this is going to set up a feud between Vince and Pat for WrestleMania.
They don't get theory.
Thursday at noon.
Are you good with having 76-year-old Vince McMahon?
If he comes in the all black, yes. If he comes in the all black, with the gloves.
All black, everything is just different.
If he comes, yes, if he comes.
All black, everything just hits different with Vince McMahon. Huh?
But it's not going to happen. You're going to get Theory. So, I mean, you're wasting your breath.
You get Theory by himself versus McAfee, or do you get them in a handicap match, Vince and Austin versus Pat? I can't believe I'm saying Pat McAfee in a WrestleMania match in 2022, but apparently here we are.
Hey, any chance to get McAfee back in the ring, I'm all for it.
It doesn't make sense, though.
Like, you don't want to see Pat in the ring, Steve? Why don't you just put the strap on Pat?
Put the strap on Pat, but not whenever he's facing the chairman of WWE. I don't need him and Vince.
Even if they would put Theory in there, it doesn't make sense. All that is a placeholder. It doesn't.
Well, you got 6 weeks to build it, and they're going to start the build Thursday on the Pat McAfee. So,
and Pat can get anything over.
If Vince can give me a Canadian destroyer, it's all good.
Oh God,
funny.
Gosh, both quads gone again, right?
Or more.
I don't know. I honestly, I'd
be surprised to see him ringside.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this I actually believe. I mean, granted, okay, let me ask this. When has Vince McMahon done something interview-wise that's not WWE?
Or beneficial too? Or you mean like
it's a few, but
when's the last time
in general are rare? So
that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's very rare.
Going on Pat's show, like this is, and granted, Pat's awesome. Pat's amazing. Like he's one of the people that I watch just from, like I said, when we were talking with Joey about studying people that you want to get better from, and him and what they do on their show is one of the ones that I watch, but I don't need Vince in 2022.
No.
I don't.
He's not going to be in the ring. Maybe he's giving you a big announcement.
Speaking of that,
maybe he bought ROH.
Do you think we're getting, Tony buying ROH and we get the Cody coming out a la Ric Flair on Raw? So hey, the name, or Shane, name doesn't say Khan, it says Rhodes. And Cody takes over ROH.
I'd save that for the pay-per-view. I wouldn't give that away on TV. That's me.
I mean, do we realistically with Cody, do you think he goes to WWE? Like after everything that's been said and done on both sides of the board, do you actually see him going back to WWE?
Right now, no.
No, I don't.
I need him to be a stay-at-home dad right now, like he's saying he is. Take some time away.
I don't.
I'm
Get
okay
that Cena wash off you and come back, and then get that new Cena wash on you.
I'm okay with him being off TV.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
If there's one thing we've talked about before too, is that how Vince doesn't hold grudges. If it's best for business, Vince moves on. So, could he return? Yes. I don't think a bridge has been burned there, but
I don't think with him, no, not at all.
I mean, I think that was proven with Eric Bischoff being signed by the WWE. But yeah, to me, I think this is going to end up just being work, and Cody's back in the company at some point.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
In AEW, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Anything else from wrestling that you guys want to get into that you may have seen come across?
We talked about AJ's contract. Two other contracts that were talked about this week. However much we want to discuss into it, though, is Cesaro left the WWE, and AEW picked up Brian Cage's option for another year.
Surprising.
Yeah, surprising with that.
Cage said to have told that to his people, that he was shocked that they actually did it. I think, I don't know whether it was the booking of Cage or Cage himself or what, Melissa said. I have no idea where things went left on Cage in AEW.
Yeah.
But the man, say what you will about him, promo wise or charismatic wise or whatever, that he can wrestle in the ring, and he's had a lot of good matches with a lot of top talent in various companies. I was a huge fan of Cage and Lucha Underground. I liked what he did in Impact. I was excited to see him come into AEW, and then I just think the whole Team Taz thing, and I think really what really hurt it and him was the whole Stark's neck injury. Because we never got that finished. And after that, it was just like, okay, well, where are we going to pivot to with him? And then the stuff with what Melissa said and everything else, like it's like that snowball thing where it just got out of control, and he's been off TV for how long? So
no, is this a paid 90-day situation? Like
no, they picked him up for a year.
I mean, I'm saying, like, keep you so you can't go elsewhere, or are they actually going to use him? Is he getting paid to sit in catering, or are they actually going to do something? Where does he fit right now?
What's the point of old WWE? Like, you can't go nowhere because we just pulled your option.
Doing the contract.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they actually do something with him. Like, hey, we're keeping you for another year for a reason. We're going to show that we want to do something with you. If they do that with him, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the biggest Brian Cage fan in the world, but they could do better with him than what they have.
Yes,
and we've seen AEW let contracts come up and not re-sign and just let them go about their business and their way. So for him to be one of, there's only a couple of talents that have had that extra year exercise before they've signed a longer deal. But I mean, Jericho, Bucks, that's probably about it. Right, Cody didn't use it with Cody. They let Cody walk.
I think they did more with Joey Janela, and they released him or let his contract expire.
Yeah, so I do think they're keeping him around for a reason. Whether or not it plays out well, who knows? But we'll see. Cesaro was the one where that hurts from a locker room standpoint. If you're WWE, that one really hits in a way that you don't want it to hit, as far as morale and all that.
Right before WrestleMania.
Yeah. So don't know if it was reports where it wasn't a money thing. It was the way that he was booked and everything else. And I don't know. Some people say he's the greatest ball dropped in WWE history, and there could be a few names rattled off there, but last night seeing Big E ride a quad down in the ring just made me think, okay, this is why Cesaro left.
They have a toy that plays into that, so.
See?
WWE, baby.
So, yeah.
That's your Austin tease.
Cesaro is a different type of person for me. Like, I'm interested to seeing where he goes, but no matter where he goes, he's going to have great matches. Like, that's just a given. It's just, what does he choose to just make appearances or do a contract with somebody now?
To me, I think Cesaro would best be used in NWA, and I'll put Impact it too.
I'm actually hoping he goes to New Japan.
When I was thinking about Cesaro, I was thinking, give me a great wrestler who's not a good character that has the accolades.
Oh man, you're like, that's top of the head.
I mean, just championships or just Malenko. Talked about him earlier. Not a great character, but damn, can he wrestle? Lance Storm, another one.
Of a major company?
Lance Storm was ECW, WCW, and WWE.
He was WCW.
Yeah,
he was everything.
I know, but he was a WWE champion?
He was Intercontinental, European, Tag Team Champion.
Top guy.
I don't know if you're ever going to get that. I'm not saying Cesaro should definitely have been the top guy, but
I mean, there's people that think he should have been.
I think Cesaro has a lot more character than what WWE let him go with over the course of his run over the last decade. I think if you look back at him whenever he was Claudia,
hello.
If you look back at him whenever he was Claudia, like I think there's a lot more character and personality that Cesaro can give off, and I've heard it in interviews that he's done with people. Like you've seen him on Up Up Down Down, like. He can be entertaining and can be, and whether or not it transitions. Some guys are great characters backstage, but as soon as that light hits, it doesn't come across on TV. And there's a list of those guys, right? But I mean, to me, the comparison for Cesaro for me is Mr. Perfect. He was never that top guy, even though I wanted him to see him be a top guy. For whatever reason. You can go based on era, who was the top guy at the time, everything else. But for me, that's the comparison I give for Cesaro is Mr. Perfect.
Don't hate that.
Yeah.
But I would like him to I would really like him to go to the NWA. I think he fits that mold. He can have really good matches with, just thinking him and Nick Aldis, him and Doug Williams, hell, even him and Cardona right now. Somebody that can come in to restore honor to the NWA. Cesaro could be that guy.
If he did it, I wouldn't be mad that he went there. I just think he deserves to be somewhere that's going to get more light shined on him.
But given nowadays with social media and everything else, like where can you go that doesn't have light on you?
And more eyes.
I mean, look at Cardona. He's an Impact, GCW, and NWA. He's getting eyes on him in 3 different companies right now.
Yeah, he is. But what's the peak on each of those eyes in each company? There's other companies that he could go to. I think. For me, I think New Japan would get more eyes on him than anything. If he would do something like a Matt Cardona, where he goes to different companies, I'd be cool with that. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for Bell to Bell this week? Again, thank you to Joey Sunseri for coming on, hyping up the WrestlePit show tonight. If you're local in the area, 412, bell time, 7 o'clock. Get down to the East Liberty area, the old Ace. It'll be a hell of a show, 7 to 10. Come down, tune in for a good night of pro wrestling here locally. All right, with that, I'm thirsty. Let's drink a beer.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right, this week's drink of the week is brought to you by Drink Responsibly, and by responsibly, I mean don't spill any beer. And with that, we have the Speedway Stout. It is an Imperial Stout with coffee by Alesmith, rich chocolate coffee. Jason, this is your selection, and I don't think you realize what you picked up whenever you grabbed it.
This is like the complete opposite of what he likes.
I was only looking for numbers. I was looking for the highest volume.
Yep. So this is 12% alcohol by volume. So
back to back weeks.
Man, this is big boy.
I think this is the highest alcohol content beer we've done on this segment.
Next time we're going.
I think so.
Last week was 10.2. So
next week we're going to
the. Jay's probably gonna hate this.
Man. That smells. Oh no.
They're out of San Diego, California. You definitely get you can tell it's 12%.
Yeah.
It's not killing me like the other ones do.
Oh, it will be.
I mean, off the top of my head, the only other beers that I can think of that are up there this high in alcohol content that I've had before previously would be like Mad Elf from Trogs. I think that's around 12%. I think the beer last week was a lot more was a smoother drink, and that was 10.2. This is a little bit higher. But you're definitely drinking a stout. There's no doubt about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is no hiding it. This is in your face.
It's good once it hits the back nostrils. And all that flavor and shit kick in.
This is my style, but I'm not enjoying this.
Good start, bad finish.
Yeah,
I think maybe because if you're looking at the label here, it's chocolate roasted malts dominate the flavor, notes of dark fruit, toffee, and caramel, healthy dose of locally roasted coffee added to each batch. The coffee is definitely there in this beer for sure. Like, and if you're not a coffee guy, if you're not like, especially like just drinking dark coffee, like black coffee, if you're a cream and sugar guy, this isn't going to be for you. If you like your coffee black, this is right up your alley.
If you like a dark roast coffee black,
yeah, and I'm not a fan of dark roast coffee, so this kind of falls short on me. But
I agree. From
a stout standpoint, I mean I like it, I enjoy it, but I probably wouldn't pick this one up again if I'm out and about. So
who was the one that we had a while ago where it was like all we got was like burnt coffee bean taste? Does anybody remember?
It was in a can.
Yeah. That's what this reminds me of.
Was it Rusty Rail?
We haven't had a Rusty Rail in a while.
I don't even know if we had a coffee with them, but yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind whenever I drank this was that beer. Like,
yeah, I'll go on the sumo scale 1 to 5. I'll give it a 2.25.
I'll give it a 1. Not up my alley.
I think I'm going to go 1.5, and I'm only giving the extra half because of the alcohol percentage on it. But I don't know. It's like you said, it's like a dark roast coffee that you're getting there, but kind of like the burnt beans, and I don't know. I think with the high alcohol content, like the flavor to me, honestly, is like I'm tasting like a black licorice, like an anise licorice, and it's the whole flavor profile doesn't work for me at all.
I think it would be better suited if it wasn't a 12%. Like
possibly
if it was a little less.
Get more of the natural flavors coming out of the stout than anything.
Yeah. So, all right, that's the Alesmith Speedway Stout. If you see it out and about, pick it up. Let us know. Hit us up on social media what you think about it.
Jason, do you give yours?
No, won't have another. I'll give it a 1 since nobody else want to have another one either. So
I tell you what, the one got to go here coming up shortly may be interesting after the 4 of us just drank this 12% alcohol. Don't know if anybody else has eaten anything today, but I haven't. So that's the first thing.
I haven't eaten.
Got some Reese's Pieces. That's been about
it. This is a little pulling back the curtain here. Are we going to get into sports before we do one gotta go?
Whatever you guys want to do.
Well,
yay, nay, maybe.
We can go into one gotta go if you want.
We go to one gotta go. Wasn't too much in sports. I mean, there wasn't too much in sports.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, fuck it. We're not even going to do the toast this week. I don't feel like it.
I like this.
The beer was that bad?
Yeah, it was that bad. Let's go right into one gotta go. All right, before we give the review and the results from last week's One Gotta Go, I was not on the show last week to give my opinion on the movies.
So, Steve, it's between Notebook, Titanic, My Girl, and A Walk to Remember.
Yeah, so I thought there was way too much praise for A Walk to Remember, Mandy Moore, all this. Get the fuck out of here with all that, okay? All right. But with that being said, I'm going to kick the Notebook off because
4 for 4.
Yeah. There's so I saw a thing this week of characters in movies that get way too much praise whenever they really shouldn't, based off of the actual character. And yeah, anytime you threaten to do something to yourself if a girl doesn't go out with you, you need to get off the off the
okay. I see
show.
where you're
So
going.
we gotta
I
get
thought you
that
were
one
saying
out of here.
anymore.
So let's get the notebook out of here.
Donald, did you get any feedback about us kicking the notebook off?
I got a lot of it. You guys ain't sensitive enough. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not a man. I was like, dang, I got called not a man. You know, like, jeez.
Got the man card
You
taken
can't do,
away.
you can't do shit now. You're not a man. You can't eat hot dogs. You can't. You're not a man.
Can't drink a beer. Can't. That's just nothing.
All right.
What the poll results say?
So the poll results said Titanic got to go, but right behind that was a tie with The Notebook and My Girl. Walk to Remember got the least amount of votes.
My Girl.
Everybody loves Mandy Moore.
My Girl
I'm mad about My Girl.
Oh,
My Girl is the best one on that list.
Yeah, I agree.
I watch it anytime it's on nowadays. Like it still hits home. It's literally, you know.
When I sent my poll results over to Chris, I was like, "Your eyes are not deceiving you," because My Girl was number one on mine.
What?
Yes.
Crazy.
I was like, wow.
All right, what do we got this week, Jay?
We're going. Did we get this? Oh, okay. Here we go. The best streaming services out right now. We're not bang for your buck. None of that. What are you watching?
So wait, because you're throwing me off here with how you're posing this. Is this the one that I'm going to get off the list?
Yeah.
Or overall, which one do I think is the
no? Which one got to go? You know the name of the game.
Well, I'm just saying the way you pose the question is completely opposite of how we play the fucking game. Like,
which one you kicking off? Okay, streaming services. There we go.
Oh man,
not good with words.
All right, so for me, looking at this list right now, Disney Plus is staying for me. It's a nostalgia thing, as well as the newer content is great with the Marvel stuff and Disney, Disney Plus with the Marvel shows that's come on the past year, plus moving forward. I still watch, the quote unquote kid movies, with my daughter and that, but Disney Plus is staying. That's not going. Hulu. I don't watch Hulu as much as the other three that are on this list. Not saying that Hulu doesn't have content for me to watch, because it does. I just tend to not go to that one like right now for anything. HBO Max, I've been on HBO Max just because of Peacemaker, but then I got dragged back in and restarted watching Deadwood to rewatch that series. And God, I missed that show. I love that show. Netflix, Cobra Kai, Last Chance U, Narcos. I was watching Daredevil and all that, Punisher, but that's getting ready to get pulled off the platform. I will say Netflix moving forward is probably the weakest out of these four, and they keep raising their prices. So Netflix got to
go. For me, I'm keeping Netflix just because of Cobra Kai. Hulu is my anime source now, and that's what replaced my wrestling watch. So I can't get rid of Hulu. HBO is my adult content stuff. I like watching the old shows that HBO had, and I like the DC stuff on there. They have all the DC animated movies. Disney, I just watch for like the new stuff that comes out, the Marvel stuff, but I really don't watch Disney. The kids use it more than I do, so Disney Plus has to go for me.
Hey, if you see two kids come off screen and choke them out, you know what?
Are they home now?
Yes, they are.
Would you say, Uncle Donald?
For me, the one that I'm using the most right now is probably HBO Max. That's been getting most consistent. After that, Disney Plus and Hulu. I got the bundle with ESPN Plus as well. That's not going anywhere. Probably a mix of those three I use consistently. Netflix, I just don't watch as much. I almost canceled Netflix about whenever Disney Plus launched, just because so many shows that I watched on there that they canceled. Probably the only thing that I really do watch right now is Cobra Kai, and then I am going to try to watch Ozark soon, since that's just about to end. I haven't got on that train yet. But I'm going to cancel Netflix off of this list.
Jay?
Disney Stan, nostalgia's sake. I barely go on there, but even when Marvel drops something, I'm on there. HBO Max, that's Stan. Hulu, I don't even log on, but I feel like just because I can go back and watch TV, stuff that I missed, I'm going to keep that. Netflix, Cobra Kai saving you. Cobra Kai can't save you. They got to go. It's called Netflix and chill for a reason. Nobody's watching.
Yeah, I mean they see. I think the problem with Netflix, where they went wrong, is that pre-pandemic, right before the pandemic hit, Netflix sunk all their money into live comedy. Right, You signed all these big comedians to big time deals. They were going to do tours, live shows, everything else, and that was going to be your go-to for comedy. Right, Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, Brett Kreischer, like all these guys, Kevin Hart, like it was Netflix was the home base for that, and that's kind of where they shifted their model to. They got away from their original content, and then the pandemic hit, and those guys weren't able to go out and do tours and do shows and everything else, and they never really replaced that void. Like I said, besides Cobra Kai, we got Ozark, maybe Stranger Things. Like other than that,
Stranger Things is going to wrap up soon.
Yeah, Squid Games. I didn't watch Squid Games, but I know that was a big fad. Tiger King was a big thing when the pandemic first started. But other than that, like it hasn't really built up or brought back the equity that it lost with all the stuff that they've canceled whenever they switched how they were going to put stuff on the platform. So yeah, for me, Netflix, as much as I enjoyed them initially, it's like 2 or 3 shows maybe at the most that I'm watching regularly.
If you want to log on something, just to scroll the menu. Netflix is your spot.
Yeah. So, all right, that was this week's One Gotta Go.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to episode 75. Before we wrap things up, just a couple more things. Make sure you subscribe to your YouTube channel, hit the bell when you get notifications when we go live each week. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DumbMarksPod. Don't forget our audio-only edition of the show is available on demand on all your favorite podcast platforms. And support the show by telling a friend about us and purchasing our official merch at prowrestlingtees.com/DumbMarksPod. Just one more time, I want to thank Joey Sunseri again for joining us today. If you are in the Pittsburgh area, go to WrestlePit Turning Up the Heat tonight, or you can watch it live on Fight.tv. And just one more thing, this upcoming week, March Madness is just about to get started, and this year we're going to be doing a Mania Madness bracket. It's going to be a bracket designed to determine the greatest WrestleMania main eventer of all time. Our bracket will be revealed this Monday night during Raw, so stay tuned to our social media for that. Our listeners, you're going to be doing the voting on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Voting will start on March 1st, and there will be one match a day to vote on until we reach the championship match on March 31st.
There you go. That's it. Best Mania bracket ever. Unfortunately, we don't got a side hustle down at the local bar that you can bet money on for this bracket. But you can vote and be heard and move who you think deserves to advance, survive and advance, as they say. So yeah, definitely vote and get logged on and hit us up on social media once that bracket's revealed, as well as match of the day every day moving forward throughout the month of March. Donald, I know you got gaming news to cover here before we get out of here, and I got one thing I want to pose a question on. So, and Chris, I don't know if you're going to cover Smash or Trash to wrap this up, or if we're going to save that for next week. But
save it for next week if you want.
All right, we'll put that out. Fat Kids, we'll put that out next week because we got an intro to get into next week with Smash or Trash. So we'll save that for next week's show.
Okay.
But Donald, why don't you jump into your gaming news for the week here?
Okay, a couple gaming things for everybody. Call of Duty, they are not making a game next year. for the first time since 2004. They said that the team Treyarch had to help with Cold War, so they pushed their game back. But I think they're just doing that so they can get new, fresh ideas once Microsoft takes over everything, which is good on their part because they've been doing it for like 21 straight years or something like that. Halo, they saying that gamers are already abandoning it because they don't have no new maps or new weapons. They're trying to get in charge of microtransactions for just skins of the characters and the weapons. And Microsoft is not happy about the abandonment at all. So Halo Infinite came out in November, already might be dead for people.
Jeez.
Capcom on Monday, they had a big counter, and everybody thought it was going to be Resident Evil 8 Village DLC. It turned out to be the announcement for the next Street Fighter 6. So gamers are absolutely pissed about that.
How are you mad you're getting a new Street Fighter?
And they also announced that they have a Capcom Fighting Collection that features all the Darkstalkers games and Street Fighter puzzle games. And gamers are mad about that. They want their Resident Evil 8 DLC, and they've also been clamoring for the original Resident Evil trilogy release too. The biggest news came out was PlayStation's Spartacus. So they're answering the Game Pass. Preliminary prices came out for it. So and titles. So the one title is called the PlayStation Plus Essential. That's what PlayStation Plus is now. So it's currently that's going to be $10 a month. What's
the year?
Huh?
What's the year?
See, now wait, you jumping the gun. You jumping the gun. The second tier is going to be called PlayStation Plus Extra, and that's going to have everything that the current, the previous one had, where you get your free monthly games and that, and then you're going to have the catalog of PlayStation 4 and some PlayStation 5 games, and that's going to be $13 a month. And the top tier is called PlayStation Plus Premium. That's going to be $16 a month. And that's going to have everything the other two tiers have, plus the catalog for PS1, PS2, PS3 streaming is not going to be downloaded because they still can't figure out the system of downloading PS3 games yet, and PSP catalog. And they're also going to have game trials on there too. So you know how like Game Pass have first day, like new games first day on the Game Pass? Well, PlayStation is going to do that, but they're only going to give you the first 6 hours of the game. So, Jason, if you remember, the Resident Evil had a countdown timer of how long you could play the demo. They're going to have that for their games. So, say like the new God of War game comes out, you could download it, but you only got 6 hours to play it.
Hopefully, it's playtime and not, hey, I put it on pause and walked away. Time.
Yeah, we don't know.
6 hours of play. Yeah, I was just going to say, is that 6 hours of playtime or 6 hours of the game?
They just said 6 hours, so okay. I'm not sure. There's a state of play coming up real soon in March, so they're probably going to announce that with the PlayStation VR 2. Those are going to be the main things, and possibly a release date for God of War. Now, Jason, you said the yearly prices. They're not sure if they're going to do yearly prices yet. They are just more focused on monthly.
I need my card.
So we don't know. So that's still up in the air. So
are we getting movies at all?
They said with that top tier, there could possibly be a streaming service for movies for Sony movies finally. And since Sony owns Funimation and Crunchyroll, that they're going to merge those two together, and you might get that too. So you get that whole anime thing, but that's only for the top tier.
Okay.
Was that premium or was that platinum?
That was premium. Yeah, that's the top tier. Yeah. And then the final gaming thing I have, eBay has a PS5 sweepstakes. So you can enter to win the PS5. You just have to sell your PS4 on their site first. So you sell your PS4 on there, you have a chance of winning a PS5. So if you don't win your PS5, you have no PS4 because you sold it.
Chance. God damn.
So kudos to eBay to even getting more of your money somehow.
Hey, if you sold your PlayStation, you're a dumbass.
Yes. And that's all the gaming news I had. When I saw that, I died. I couldn't believe it. And people's actually doing it too. So.
Oh, I'm sure. I saw this week Walmart had some PS5s available. They were doing a sale this week and got them.
This is getting ridiculous.
Jay, Chris, you guys got anything? Final
Yes,
thoughts?
U.S. women's soccer settled their equal pay settlement. So, which is about time because they definitely outshine the men's.
Yeah.
Yearly.
Did it say what they got, or just that they settled it?
No, I didn't read too much into it. Yeah,
I think they're gonna get paid the same as the men on every like competition level. So World
exactly
Cup,
the same.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly the same.
Good.
All right. Two quick things for me. One, Undertaker was announced for the WWE Hall of Fame this year. We can get into whether or not he should be the only one inducted. But ROH has also been announcing their first ever class for the ROH Hall of Fame, and it's Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Samoa Joe, and the Briscoes. Which class is a better class? Which
Right
Hall
now?
of Fame class right now?
Oh,
Briscoes, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, or just the Undertaker? Which class is a better class of Hall of Fame right now?
just a Taker.
Huh?
Undertaker.
Taker.
Taking go solo.
Yes.
Taker by himself trumps all four of those.
He's meant more to the business than all four of them.
I think you remember more Taker than you remember more of those other guys. He has a lasting impression that, yeah.
Well, if you watch ROH from the beginning, whenever they were in it, you might think different. I haven't watched ROH from the beginning.
No,
so
but you still know who Undertaker is. I don't care if you're a diehard ROH fan. You're still an Undertaker fan.
Do I think it's a great class? Absolutely. That's
Yes.
They definitely ROH put together a great list for their first Hall of Fame class. But yeah, between the two, Undertaker definitely trumps them.
All right, and then lastly, I got a gripe and a bone to pick with the PIAA here in the state of Pennsylvania. Yins Jagoffs voted to move the state championship games from being played at Hershey Stadium to Cumberland Valley High School. Cumberland Valley High School. You have the state of New York state championship is played up at the Carrier Dome. New Jersey, you got that at MetLife Stadium. Ohio, the state of Ohio championship game is played at the Hall of Fame. You had Hershey, Pennsylvania, which was a good spot for the state title games. I enjoyed it. We've been to Hershey for state championship games. It's been there forever.
Right in the middle of the state.
And also right in the middle of the state, one of the other bids, besides to keep it at Hershey, was to have it be played at Beaver Stadium.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but you also have the Eagles on one side of the state, and you have the Steelers here in Pittsburgh. Why in the blue hell did you select to move the state title games to a freaking high school venue?
You go through Heinz Field.
What money are they getting? The high school's not paying them money.
I'm sure someone's going to kick back somewhere. You're not doing that for no reason. So I actually don't know. So is it a newer stadium at the high school, or
it doesn't fucking matter? It's a high school stadium. Hey, all you guys, the 4 years that you worked so hard to get here, all the blood, sweat, and tears you put into. Hey, guess what? No more Hershey Kisses for you. You get to go achieve your dream of playing at Cumberland Valley High School.
You'd rather win the Whitfields just regular.
Yeah. That's it.
You go through Heinz Field to get to Cumberland.
Is it the journey or the destination?
It's the destination.
It's the destination. It's the destination.
I mean, I don't know if it's a better place to play. I mean, is that
it's
that's
not?
one thing,
but it's not.
I don't know.
Though. Like,
yeah, if it's not a good place, if it's a downgrade, then yeah, it's stupid to do it. But
so this upcoming year, 2022 through 2025, it'll be played there.
They said it had something to do with the venue price was raised.
Whatever. The PIAA.
Yeah, but like they don't make money. Yeah, like they don't make money.
I got to play in Three Rivers Stadium. Was it about the journey? No, I don't give a damn about the journey. Love the guys. It was about the destination.
Just play in the Beaver Stadium. Play it up there in Penn State. That's in the middle of the state almost.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. Whenever I saw that list, they said that they turned down Beaver Stadium. Well, that was just stupid.
Turned down.
I mean, Hershey was great. My senior year, went up there, watched the game, didn't get the result we wanted, but loved being there. You know, Beaver Stadium, Penn State would have been great because it's already set up with hotels around and everything else. It's a major college campus, big time program, everything else, like tremendous. To move it to a high school venue,
Cumberland.
like, what are we doing? So yeah, the PIAA continues to they're the Rob Manfred of high school athletics. Like, it's fucking terrible.
So what you got? You got a thing. You got all of the football games up there and soccer games up there too. So the boys and girls soccer.
As far as I know right now, the only thing that I saw that was announced was that the football state title games will be played there. I don't know if they're moving all sports state championships to that venue or not. I just saw football.
Okay.
So
I don't know the list, but I did see that some stuff is staying in Hershey.
Okay. Yeah, I did see soccer was moving up there too. So boys and
I
girls
saw
soccer.
the tweet,
So that's 12. So that's 12 soccer games there.
Football and soccer.
Yep.
it's terrible. Just
for 4 years.
For 4 years. Terrible decision.
So you have 18 games just right out of high school venue.
Yeah.
Gotta take a look at this venue. If it's a nice venue, I don't mind it, but
come on, man. Look, the nicest
Cumberland don't even play in Cumberland.
The nicest high school venues in the country arguably could be in the state of Texas as far as high school stadiums, right? Where do they play their state championship game at?
Jerry World.
And you're fucking moving the PIAA state title games to freaking.
Can you see Cumberland across the horizon? No, you can't.
You can see Jerry World.
Just a joke.
Yeah, the park and the smell of chocolate right there at the stadium. Come on,
imagine pulling up on a tour bus, being a football player. Like, this is what the fuck we get? Cumberland?
After we just played at Heinz Field 2 weeks ago.
We beat Cumberland to get to Cumberland.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pulling this up right now just to see what this football stadium looks like. Because I'm so interested right now.
All right, well, you're looking that up, Chris. The quote of the week this week is by Booker T. Washington. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which he has overcome while trying to succeed. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in today. I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, tell a Mark, and until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.